What's up, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, I'm Nestlemania. Alongside for the ride is a man who always thinks a tractor is sexy, JC. JC, thanks for being back, bud.
Brock Lesnar took us all for a ride in his big, was it a red tractor? I'm not sure.
It was orange.
Orange-ish, yeah. It was a summer.
Come on.
Summerslam, slammy color pellet there for Mr. Brock Lesnar and Nestlemania. And we did have a really fun SummerSlam this weekend. Now we're going to get all deep into the weeds and comebacks and debuts and returns and this and that and matches and woo! And then a new look Raw, some happenings all across the wrestling world. So Nestlemania, I think we got to start with SummerSlam and the start of the show. Right off the tip, right off the
tip. You like that? Right off the tip.
Right off the tip.
20%, baby.
The year-long story has come to the end between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, and Bianca retained in what I thought was a pretty exciting match. But obviously, the headline are the things that happened after the match. First off, Becky finally acknowledging Bianca and like shaking her hand. Becky obviously separating her shoulder as well, but even that wasn't the biggest story because then out comes Bayley with a big return. But Nestlemania, she has some friends.
Oh my God. First off, I love all three of these women. I think they're fantastic in every single solitary way. I have a soft spot for Io Sky. That's going to be real hard to remember. Even Corey Graves. That one on Monday. Yeah, poor Corey Graves. But you know, it is what it is. And like I said, I love Io so much. I mean, she's one of my faves, as well as Dakota. Great ad. And then, you know, Bayley's always going to be a seismic shift in any division she goes in, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT. So I was excited to see that. It seems odd to me in a little, maybe it's like, you know, it's supposed to be the way it is, but it was like last year, it was like Bianca going, oh my God, it's Becky Lynch. And then this year it's like, oh my God, it's three women. And then it's like next year she's going to be like, oh my God, it's an entire roster coming after me. But like, you know, it's just like after a while, I just want Bianca to be like, all right, who's coming out like at the end of SummerSlam? Because it just seems like it's going to happen every year from now on. But again, this is like injecting three of the best into a division that was already pretty good on Raw specifically anyway. So I'm curious what you think of the group, what you think of like their ceiling. Do you think there's going to be infighting? Like, how do you see this playing out?
Well, I love it, first of all, because obviously like I also love Io Sky and obviously Dakota Kai as well. And she was obviously gone from the company. She was someone though, who has a very, when people are looking for things of like the Triple H impact, like this is obviously the biggest one because he literally took one of the most talented female wrestlers in the world who's been working at NXT, finally brought her to the main roster in Io Sky, something that I know we've been talking about for years because the talent's there. We know that every single woman on the roster wants to work with her and the thing that she brings in the ring. And then Dakota Kai, who's one of the most beloved people in the locker room back there, was left from NXT when her contract expired. So Triple H bringing Dakota back and bringing up Io to the main roster, obviously right away, boom. That's the biggest impact we've seen from it. And I personally love it because I think this is a good way to debut them too, because Bayley works as like a leader and she's taking two women that have kind of really had to grind to get here. I mean, one was gone, one was rumored to be gone. So the stable makes sense. I think it's good because I don't think Dakota had improved a lot in NXT in terms of the promos, but I don't know if she's a main roster like solo act yet. Same with Io coming up. So I think it's a good fit to kind of have them with Bayley as like the ringleader. And then we'll see if maybe they tag a little if those titles come back and stuff. But I think it's a good fit. I think it's exciting. I think, like you said, like an already stacked division is getting even more stacked because you saw Alexa and Asuka involved a little bit with this on Monday, as we know. Liv's moved over to SmackDown, which has kind of helped make room for this a little bit, but I think this is just a win-win-win across the board for everyone.
Ray would like a JC fashion minute on Bailey's pants. How many flames?
Bailey always has great pants. Super hot fire, baby. 5 flames.
5 flames.
Bailey's a stud.
My question was how many cell phones can she hold in those pockets? There were like pockets galore on those things. It was like a purse inside pants. It was ridiculous.
It was great. It was great.
It was unbelievable. And then on Monday, she had more. She had more pant pockets.
Hey, Bailey's had over a year to come back with all these great outfits. She's had plenty of time to plan this. I know she's probably definitely been very excited for this. So, I mean, this is great stuff, Nestlemania. And obviously next week we'll probably have a 6-woman tag based on what happened on Raw. So you can complain about that. But I mean, this is cool. And everyone I feel like was just happy about this. The Dakota one, there was no leaks about it. It was very unexpected. Obviously the EO thing, everyone was saying she was gone, which kind of knew was bullshit because she's been injured, but whatever. But this is just great. And yeah, you know what, Wes? I when we get to the Shining Heat, I might not have any heat this week, if we're being honest. I really might not.
Wow.
We'll get there. We gotta get to SummerSlam first. But honestly, like, this was not that I like thought everything was amazing and greatest thing ever, but like there's not too many things I can point at and be like, this week.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Logan Paul making his singles debut against The Miz, Maurice, and Ciampa, who, you know, it is a thing. Maurice was doing her job perfectly.
Question first.
Yes.
Was this a one-on-one match?
It was.
So you were on?
But did anybody's butt pucker when they heard AJ Styles' music a little bit?
No.
Oh, Ray did. Ray absolutely did. He said in the thread, you all were like, oh my God. So here's the thing. Yes, Ray's won. Ray won. Ray's right. You can put that in you can get the copy of it, Ray. But you guys all sat there and you were like, oh God, here's the music. We're going to turn this into a tag match. So, you know, if it doesn't happen, it should happen, I think, at this point. But
it might. But if we're watching Logan Paul in Nestlemania, you see why they had utmost confidence in him. He looked fucking incredible. And like we said it last week, it's like, if there's a guy you want to work with off the rip, there's a reason why The Miz was involved with Bad Bunny, and why The Miz is involved with Logan Paul, because we talk about it all the time. Like, The Miz is just safe. He's crisp because he doesn't go out of his thing, and he's willing to do whatever you want to do too. And he's I think he's a great, like, people give him credit, discredit sometimes for not selling great. I think The Miz sells great, especially as a heel with his facials and everything. So this was a perfect fit. And Logan he looked incredible.
Yeah. I mean, beside the fact if you like the human being or not, I'm not going to judge that. That's not for me to worry about at this point. But in terms of wrestling, the guy gets a lot of it. He's doing a lot of the kabooms. He's doing a lot of the flips. He's doing a lot of he hits potatoes. That's for damn sure. He does not pull his punches yet. Hopefully he learns that to protect people he's working with. But I was pleasantly surprised that he could handle himself in an entire matchup. And
it wasn't a short match either.
It's a longer match.
They got a lot of time, and I was entertained throughout, like from the start with the matching outfits all the way through the match. Like Logan, like some people have put highlight reels out of him, and it's just like watching. It's just like, holy shit. It's like, he's a natural, and we kind of felt that way when we kind of got the glimpse of him at WrestleMania stuff. It's like, man, this kind of really does seem like this is like his calling. And I mean, you saw it's like the promo we had after, like online. He's all about this. I think Triple H is actually on his podcast like today or something, so that'll be interesting what comes out of that. But like, he's all in. I think that's exciting because he brings something to the table, definitely, for sure, that I think is you can't really get anywhere else.
And the one thing I really, really, really enjoyed about the entire process was, like, as I'm watching him develop in front of my eyes, all I could think about was he's going to have a move set that's very babyface based, right? In some flashy way, but he's going to be an asshole. And there's like, not that he's in the same vein as an RVD, but I can see it in a vein of like I'm the whole fucking show. Watch me go up and do some cool shit. And I mean, I love RVD. I have a very, very, like, he's in my top 5, but like ever, but Logan Paul has that kind of like that charisma and that, like, literally I'm the best at everything I do. So I can see that happening, and you're like begrudgingly cheering for him or enjoying his matches like most people did with RVD until he became like a fan favorite. I don't know if Logan Paul can become a fan favorite, like universally loved, but I think he did a great job what he did on Saturday night. So I'm curious to see where this goes next, because I feel like a lot like Sami Zayn's and the Kevin Owens must be on the radar next for somebody like a Logan.
Oh, he
Paul.
already kind of had like the friendship with
Yeah.
Sami Zayn, and that's kind of how they brought him in. And so yeah, no, I think those kind of guys are the easy one. But I am curious to see. It does seem like he's gonna be away for a while, which makes sense. I mean, he's never gonna be a full-time guy, but
a Royal Rumble appearance seems to be.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if he popped in before then, because he does seem to really enjoy this. I don't know what his schedule is. He could book another boxing match and I mean, his brother mostly does that, but just like he has a lot of opportunities. But I will say one thing is, because we saw him use the phenomenal forearm from AJ Styles, which we saw like there was a little tutelage, but the finish, he used the Miz's finisher.
Yeah.
So something that I would like to see going forward for Logan Paul is that he doesn't have a finisher, but his finisher uses your finisher on you. Like I feel like we haven't had that in a while, and I think that'd be something really cool, and especially like I think he's a natural heel. I think that works.
In the words of Cody Rhodes, if I've tagged with you, I can steal your moves. So, that's a logic, I guess, and into its own. Moving on, we have Lashley that wins, of course, against Theory in by submission, which honestly wowed the shit out of me. And that finish, when it was like a roll up into the fucking thing, then he slid out and then got into the hurt lock and then like flailed his arms. I went, this is great. Obviously, the beginning I missed. I had to go back and watch the posing of the godlike physique and the pyro, which was the first pyro of the night. I was enjoying it. I thought I thought that SummerSlam really kicked off, and then I thought this one was going to be the lull after this, when I was like, oh, this is kind of like where I'm going to fall off. This entertained me completely, and I was surprised. I was really surprised.
Yeah, and I think they did right by Lashley too, because Theory gave him the pre-match beatdown, so it kind of made it a little more believable, because we know Lashley's such a beast. But I thought it worked, and Lashley overcame it. And like we'll talk more about the U.S. title when we get to the Shine for sure. But it just like it was one of those rematches. It was a point in the card. People were probably like, but I thought it delivered. Like everything on this card for me pretty much delivered.
And now the match that if I had to pick was a letdown, not a letdown, but not as exciting as the rest of the card.
So the 3.5 star match as opposed to the 4-star match.
Right. This was a satisfactory. This was not an above satisfactory. It was the Judgment Day taking on the Mysterios with Uncle Adam Edge coming out looking ridiculous with his Michael Jackson gimmick and then running him down and spearing people and looking so not cool, even though he's trying to be cool. I'm not trying to harp on Edge. I love Edge for certain reasons, but God damn it. Like this whole thing was like, we
were so excited for him as a heel, and they took that away. So
I know.
I feel the same way. I'm a little disappointed. I thought this match was fun. I think these 4 guys work great together. Having Rhea involved, like we knew Edge coming back made sense, but yeah, just like we were so excited about the heel Edge thing, because we have been clamoring for it since he came back, and they literally gave it for us for like 2 months, and then they flipped it for whatever reason. But like, well, we know the reasons, but it's just like it's gonna be a little bit of a disappointment thing for me. But I do laugh because I was thinking about it when his music hit on Monday. It's like when he's like, "You think you know me?" I'm like, then like the whole thing was like, "You think you know me? You never did." It's like, no, you think you know me? Well, we actually did. You were the one who didn't know yourself for 2 months.
Right.
Now you're just like.
The other thing that made me kind of giggle in myself, like, again, I'm sure people that were there can tell me differently, and that's fine. And they probably were like, oh, it's still excited anyway. But like, in terms of like the surprise of Edge, it was like, let's wheel out this giant staircase with fucking pyrotechnics. Oh, you don't know who it is.
I thought it was cool looking.
I thought it's cool, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I get it for the people at home, it looks cool, and you're like, holy shit, he's back. But then you're like, out there, you're like, well, somebody's coming out. Oh,
yeah, but I think if you're at the show, you don't give a shit about that. If you're sitting directly in front of it, if you're on the other side, you might not even notice it. Probably half the people are in the bag anyway, so there's like,
Yeah, I can see that you're in the bag most of the time. All right, especially when you do this podcast.
Vegas, baby. I wish I was half in the bag.
Did you just call Nash Vegas? Is that what you just said?
Never heard that before?
No, I heard it on I heard it on the TV. The TV.
The telly. I heard it on the telly.
I heard it on the telly. On the telly. Yeah. Moving on to Pat McAfee with bum-ass Corbin winning by pinfall in, honestly, a match that I thought was a little too long, but still very fun. Again, loving the choir, loving the bum-ass Corbin cutting off his music, loving the getting the crowd behind him. It was great. The Swanton bound beanie took him out a little bit. Loved that the nut kick. Again, the storytelling in a lot of these matches, especially the Logan Paul and the Pat McAfee, the going back to what the story was about. Obviously, Corbin kicked him in the nuts. He got to kick him in the nuts. That seems like a plausible reason for Corbin to lose. Again, all we're asking for is plausible, right? Doesn't have to be so ludicrous that you're just like, this is fucking stupid. This made sense. Perfect, logical sense in wrestling is what I'm asking for. And honestly, it's been perfect so far, for the last week or so. It's great. And I I don't have really a lot more to say. I don't want to see Pat McAfee as much anymore, though. I don't know why.
Well, you're gonna see him every week on SmackDown. That's his job.
Like, I need a break from him. Like, I
feel he wrestled at WrestleMania. He wrestled at SummerSlam. We probably won't see him again until possibly the Rumble. Like, that's what he is. So, but I will say, I do want to hit on the choir thing in the entrance, because I said there were two things that you can really point to as Triple H impact. Triple H has always been a big fan of like the extravagant special entrances. We obviously saw the Street Profits one later, but if you look at like his time in NXT, every like event, there were a couple like specialty entrances. And I think I love this shit. It adds it to the show. And I think this is the other thing, because I feel like a lot of times, like sure, at WrestleMania, they do them, but a lot of these other shows, like they never really popped up. But this is something else I'm looking forward to in the Triple H era. This is something he is big on, is making it feel special. I mean, in this McAfee one, like the choir singing bum ass Corbin was fucking perfect. It was great that Corbin wasn't even all the way to the ring when it started, and he starts getting mad. And then it perfectly played into McAfee's new entrance theme, like with Super Hot Fire, man. Like this guy is over like Rover. It's the perfect entrance theme. Like everything about it was fun. Before the match even started, I was all into this, and then I thought it was fun. Yeah, it was a little long, but they gave everything time on this card, which is why I thought it was cool. But the low blow was perfect. Pat winning made sense. Corbin's going to be fine because he's Corbin, but this was, again, another thing that I point to. I'm just like, I love this.
A match that we're moving on to, Usos versus the Street Profits with Jeff Jarrett. Ain't I great? Chewing up scenery in the background for no fucking reason. Of course, this was another match that I thought was a little too long in the tooth. But again, obviously Usos had to win, is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't really enjoy all the amount of like the falsies over and over again, because I felt like there's not a big tag team division right now. So I felt like this was just like not as special as it could have been. Again, they did the entrance and the cool Titans thing and the Cowboys and all that stuff. But like, I don't know. There's something about it was like, I need something completely different. I need something completely different for the Usos to do now.
You are like, this was the end. This was the end of this. Is the last chance. And they're building more tag teams. Like you saw Mysterio's Judgment Day, Viking Raiders, New Day, like, and there's obviously the lower teams that have been pushed. But the big thing for me here was this was probably the only part of SummerSlam where I got a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth and my eyes rolled, because the fucking Jeff Jarrett bullshit, especially the whole like first 10 minutes of the match, it's fucking Michael Cole and Graves just fucking talking about Jeff Jarrett. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this stupid fucking ref. Shut the fuck up. I had to mute it. I couldn't listen to it anymore. Just like, they're sucking his fucking dick. They're saying how great he is. Like, oh, I want. It's like, I don't give a fuck. He's a special guest referee. The focal point should be on the two tag teams. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, Jeff Jarrett's there. I get why you did it. Whatever. That's fine. It's Nashville. But it's like the commentary. This was like, this is honestly the biggest heat for me the entire week. I was just like, shut the fuck up. I literally said to my TV, I'm like, shut the fuck up. If you say that fucking double J fucking name one more time, Michael Cole, I'm going to strangle you and fucking put you in a room with you saying boss time till the end of eternity to see how you fucking like it, dumb fuck.
Wow.
The match was fun. I enjoyed the match. It made sense. It was good. But Jeff Jarrett, get the fuck out of here.
And now moving on to something that I'm sure we're both going to have interesting topics to talk about here. Liv Morgan technically wins in 4 minutes.
Oh, no, she won.
49 seconds against Ronda Rousey. Of course, you know, it is a thing. So I'm going to let you go first, because I know you have a logical reason for everything.
Yeah, no, I thought this was perfect. I loved every way this played out. Like, Rousey dominated, as she should have. But we had the dusty finish where Rousey's shoulders were down and the ref got the 3 as Liv was tapping. Liv appeared to be tapping before the 3 count, but the ref couldn't see it because it was like a little like lean back roll up thing. So it made perfect sense. Like, this is how you did it. Because I've said the last couple weeks, like, how are you going to make it believable that Liv beats Rousey? Because Rousey's not winning the title back yet. So I just assumed Charlotte. I thought that was the easy way out. And that's why I really enjoyed this, because they didn't take the easy way out. They found a nice dusty way to pull this off. And you know what? It's just like these things, like if this shit was real, like this shit would happen. Watch any sports. There's always bad calls and things that happen. So this one I thought was well done. And then after the match, it made perfect sense, because Rousey, we finally got the Ronda Rousey we've been waiting for. Just fucking angry, fucking bad bitch Ronda Rousey, who's just like, fuck you, and just, you know, in a fit of rage, she attacks Liv, and then she's like, you know what, ref? Who doesn't pop for a ref bump? Come on. And then Rousey beat the fuck out of that ref. It was just, I thought this was well done. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. I thought it was honestly top 3 part thing here for me. No, this is what it was. I loved everything about this. This was great. It was the main event.
Oh,
it was
my
this.
God. Get your lips away
from
someone's ass. Jesus.
No, it's true. No, this was great. I thought this was booked so well.
It was 4 minutes and 39 seconds of nonsense is what it was. Yeah. That's what I think it was.
What did you expect? Ronda Rousey.
Here's my question.
The baddest woman on the planet.
Here's my question. Here's my question. And if you can convince me, great. I'll shut up. But convince me. Really use your conviction there, JC, and to convince me of this, right? Why would anybody in their right fucking mind believe that now Liv is a credible champion? Why would anybody cheer for Liv? Because
everyone likes Liv, Nestlemania.
No, you don't. I look at it like this. Why would I care for her? She knows she's not good enough now. She knows she's not good enough.
No one thinks about it like that. No one thinks about it like that.
It's a logical jump off point.
Nobody thinks about it like that. People love Liv. We've seen that since she's been.
But she doesn't deserve it in your mind now.
When all of her friends got fired, she did not get fired because there's always been something about her that is likable. People love Liv, and that doesn't change. And part of the reason people love Liv is because she's an underdog. Because it's not believable that she would be the top. So it's like you root for someone like that because you want them to get their moment. Because this is someone who shouldn't ever reach that pinnacle, but you see them work their ass off, and it makes you believe, and everyone else around you believe, your children believe, everyone believe that I can achieve my dreams too. That's why people love Liv, because she's fucking relatable, because it's fucking real, man. There's nothing fake about her. She's just a fucking happy-go-lucky kid who works her ass off.
I didn't say she was fake.
I'm just saying you're asking how can anyone like her? It's like that's the reason.
No, I'm saying now. I'm saying now. Right now.
Oh my God, she couldn't be David and beat Goliath. Like that so rarely happens.
If she's more likable, she should relinquish that title and say, I didn't earn it. She won't.
Nobody does that. You can then every team that's ever won a championship on a bad call should relinquish their championships. Yeah, no one does that.
Wrestling is different.
Wrestling is different. Not.
Yes,
You're
it is.
a fucking moron.
No, I'm not.
This might be a top 3 dumbest thing you've ever said.
I think that's
you're just looking
ridiculous.
for a reason because you're like, I'm Baby Nestle. Like, that's all this is. That's all this is. Get over it. Come on. This was so well done. This was so well done.
You can't.
This is how you booked it. This is a perfect way to do it. Anymore. She is a baby face. You fucking kidding me? She just took the shit beat out of her by Ronda when she tried to shake someone's hand. Are you kidding me? You're a fucking moron.
No, I'm not a moron.
Yes, you are.
No. You guys are ridiculous because the thing is here is that Liv doesn't deserve the championship now. That's the whole thing.
Are you fucking kidding me? She won the match. It's not
by
her fault.
accident.
Yeah, it's not her fault.
That's it.
No, it isn't by accident. Ronda's shoulders were down for the 3 count. It's just she tapped first. The ref didn't see that. So yes, Liv did enough to win the match. She did. Ronda Rousey's were down 1, 2, 3. Learn to count, you dumb fuck.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
You disgust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh.
When she loses a championship in like a month or two,
we're going to lose the championship at some point because everyone does.
No, in a month or two.
Her reign's already been a success. She brought it into SummerSlam, first ever time being booked on SummerSlam.
Sure.
Defended against the baddest woman on the planet. That's successful reign already.
Okay, great. Winning with an asterisk. Asterisk.
Yeah, because that's never happened before, you know.
For a babyface, it's a lot harder, though. It's a lot harder to overcome.
Okay, fine. Nestlemania also wants the Patriots to relinquish all their titles because they went like this at Jets practice. Like, you're a fucking idiot. You're the Spygate, Nestlemania. You're the fucking Deflategate. You are fucking despicable. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah?
Get the fuck out of here, you moron.
Moving on to the last part of the show, which we can both agree was the most fun I've had in a long time.
Yeah. Match of the year?
Maybe. I think it is. For anybody that loves AEW, I mean, go ahead. But this right here was sports entertained. I was sports entertained throughout the entire fucking match. I was sitting there and I'm like, that's a fucking tractor. And then as I'm watching it, I said to my brother and Joe, I go, is he going to be able to make that fucking turn? Like I was getting anxiety watching Brock Lesnar drive that thing because it's Brock fucking Lesnar, right? Like you're sitting there going, this is the guy that took a monitor out of the old table at a commentary, just threw it and hit a fan. Like he doesn't care. He's Brock Lesnar. So what the hell is he going to do with a tractor? And then of course, then you want to talk about an anxiety attack that I had. Like when the thing, the what do you call it? The bucket, when it just stayed on top of the top rope the whole match. I'm like, oh my God, someone's going to fucking hit it. Someone's head's going to bust. Like, I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I'm on the edge of my seat for a tractor right now. A tractor. But I was so into it. And then when he scooped it up and then Roman Lion came out of the fucking thing. Oh my God. Then Theory comes down looking for a new daddy with his fucking briefcase and fucking gets boomed, deuced out. And then of course, Heyman takes so if this is Brock Lesnar's last match.
It's not.
I know, but if
it's his last match against Roman Reigns,
sure,
it's the end of the saga.
Let's just go on the ridiculous ride that this is Brock Lesnar's last match for a moment, just for a moment, right?
I don't play what if games.
I just stop.
That's what my dad used to
entertain me. Well, your dad's a smart man, but I also hate him for obvious reasons. I mean, look at you. But anyway, that's beside the point.
I'm the freaking gift. I'm JC. I'm the Lord and Savior of this podcast.
I'm glad you added of the podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm not the one. My ego isn't that big.
Well,
I just gotta beat one. There's only one person I have to beat here. That's a pretty low bar.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's a hurdle that's not even off the ground. It's just laying there. You just step over it.
I'm not even a hurdle then. I'm part of the floor.
Yeah.
No,
you're just a twig on the ground.
Exactly. I'm rubbish. I'm garbage.
I didn't say that. You're not.
No, that's what you're implying. You're implying I'm garbage.
I'm saying you're a twig on the ground. After your take on the last match, you might.
Oh, well, you know what? I can stand on that take. That's fine. But we're going back to Brock Lesnar. If this is Brock Lesnar's last match, it's not. But if it was, Heyman might be the first, he might be on the record as taking the last F5. That's pretty cool. Like, he started with Heyman. Heyman took his last, I just think that's a cool little nugget there. If in fact it is the end of Brock Lesnar, it's probably not. But I love the stacking of everything. I felt bad for fucking Jey Uso, who got fucking dumped on his head. Poor bastard kept going. I mean, there was so many things in this match. Like, this is the stuff that I think separates WWE from anything else. And I'm not just picking on AEW.
It's production. And that's what this match, like,
yes.
AEW can't pull off this match because they don't have the production that WWE has. Shout out to our boy Ray. It's just like, this is what always is going to separate them. It's like, in terms of like the extravagant entrances, the extravagant extra bullshit during the match, the sets, like that's the difference. That's the major difference between them. It's like everything else, like, sure, there are things that can like come and go, but it's just like, it's not even close.
It's a thrill ride, right? Like, you're watching it and you like, here's the thing. We've seen, I mean, at least for me, I've seen it since I was 3 years old. I've probably seen hundreds of thousands of hours of wrestling, right? And that's ridiculous. But the best matches for me are when I forget about everything I've known, everything I've watched, everything I've been taught, right? Inside of a ring. And I watch this match and I'm like, good Lord. This was a match. Like, again, it's not supposed to be something that you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm excited about, because it's
none of us were excited for this match. We've seen it a million times.
Somehow,
Roman and Brock, man, they always deliver. Always.
I fucking forgot about him catching Brock's microphone with no fucking, just grabbed it with his left hand with no, and he winked at him. He fucking winked at him.
It was perfectly done. It's impressive, but like, that being people's biggest takeaway is the most impressive thing they ever had is fucking ridiculous. Like, it was really cool. And Roman's the man, but like, come on. Let's calm down.
I just think the entire thing was far more impressive than I thought. Like, I did get a little fatigued at the end, or I was like Michael Cole, God damn it, count faster. I'm tired.
You nailed the head with the last man standing matches, because it was like, he hit him with the title and then he gets to 9. He gets like, it just like that. It did drag, but like, we get what they were doing.
Yeah.
So.
I just felt like I was watching a video game towards the end of it, where it was like, when you want to beat that guy and it's like, I beat him with a chair. No, it's 9. I beat him with a 9.5. Now I got to stack everything on him and it's 10. Oh my God.
You hit him with both titles individually.
I fucking used a special, like whatever as the kids would say, you know what I mean? Like, is that a special still? I don't know.
I think it's a special as a setup and a finish as the finish.
Oh, it's I thought it was a signature. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe you might be right.
I could be wrong. I've been out of the video games. I need my video game peeps to tell me what's going on there. But so SummerSlam to me, A+. I would put this on best. Honestly, WrestleMania and SummerSlam, both A+.
How it should be.
I think those were not just a good pay-per-view. I think this is an all-timer SummerSlam.
I was going to say this because I actually, when I finished watching it, and I was like, I know I just finished watching it, and I'm on the high, I finished watching it, but I was like, I think this is the greatest SummerSlam ever.
I don't know about that.
Obviously, you need to compare, but like, do you have one off the top of your head? Because
for me,
I be able to come up with one. This one, top to bottom, like they're like literally, I loved every single second of it except for the commentary about Jeff Jarrett. But that was like 5 minutes, and I muted it, and I was over.
Sure, that's fine. I mean, a lot of it for me was like SummerSlam with like the Brock and the Rock headlining. I think it was 2002. Also had Triple H and the return of HBK, as well as these awesome undercard matches with like Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio. That one stands out specifically to me because that's what I remember a lot of. I went to the Boston one, the SummerSlam, that was really amazing with Edge and John Cena. I think that was a no DQ match or something crazy. There was an I Quit match with Mick Foley and Ric Flair. There's a lot of good stuff in there, in my opinion, that was awesome. So there's a couple of SummerSlams in my head, but those were for different reasons. But you could make the case. I think this is a very strong case. It's definitely top 3, top 5 for sure.
Yeah, no, I think those are good nominees. So yeah, I think to me, it might be number 1. I don't know. I have to.
I mean, maybe someday we'll stop doing the weekly thing and we'll do things like, rankums and stuff like that. But
yeah, but that would require me to have a lot of free time to be able to watch all these things. So.
Oh, well, at least you were nicer enough to not say that spends more time with Nestle, but that's okay. I appreciate you didn't say that.
That too. That adds to the time. Now that I need time and a half for that. So.
I ain't paying you, so double time is nothing ain't gonna help. You know what I mean? All right. So anyway, we talked about half an hour almost of the Summerslam. Now it's time to get shine-worthy, which might actually be the entire podcast. We'll see.
I have no heat. I'm a spoiler. I have no heat. So always in the shine, much like Mandy Rose. I have no heat is my biggest shine of the week. But I think we have to start with the United States title, right? That was the focal point of Raw. They literally had a package to kind of showcase the lineage and the history of it. Like this is something. If you want the third bullet of Triple H Impact, it's like making these titles feel like they matter more. Especially, I expect something similar with the IC title. Maybe it isn't like a complete production like this because they already have a match set up, but like more of just like elevate these. Especially if you're going to have one champion at the top, like you really want the next two down, these mid card titles to feel important, and they did. You obviously had 6 people competing for 2 spots. And it was like the hope of the show. It was the triple threats were both awesome. The first hour was commercial free, and then you got the surprise winner of Ciampa beating AJ Styles, and then that was the number 1 contender.
I mean, you talked about all the highlights here very quickly. I mean, I didn't get to watch it live, so I got to speed up and 32X a lot, but I stopped for that United States video package. I thought that was well done. I thought the visual, I don't like JBL talking in general, but it meant something. I like the clips of Dusty Rhodes. I like the clips of, what it insinuated and what it did for other people. That's wonderful. The lineage of John Cena and the whole, open challenge stuff, like what the United States title meant to different people. I love that. I thought that was wonderful. I love both triple threat matches. I thought they were both different and both fun for different reasons. Obviously, I came out of my seat for that fucking tornado DDT out to the outside, AJ Styles and Mustafa Ali. I thought was here's the thing.
The finish was amazing.
The finish was great too. But the one thing that I kept saying to myself was not that I'm going to grade A1 grade. I guess I can say A1 and A2, I guess would be the best way to say this, was the Mustafa Ali match to me was better, triple threat wise, just a little more fluid. But the other one was more hard hitting and kind of like, it was fun because Gable got a chance to shine. Ziggler's always good. And then Ciampa had a chance to do some certain things. But when I look at it, there was also this moment of like, it just felt like I was on a ride again with that first triple threat match, which was fantastic, just absolutely wonderful. And again, this is the kind of stuff that you want to listen to and feel and watch with your eyeballs. The second triple threat for me, not that I'm complaining in any aspect, it just felt like it was a good idea on paper. I don't think it was executed as well as the first one.
Well, the first one,
like odd.
The first one you had like one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world, probably in AJ Styles. Yep. Then you had The Miz, who just like meshes well, and he's the perfect heel to counteract AJ and Ali. And then Ali, obviously, we know the athleticism, but we've seen the like Ali Miz match. We've seen Styles Miz matches to know that those matches are fucking awesome. So having him as the foil for those two in this match, just like, again, The Miz is willing to do whatever you want him to do, and he plays his role perfectly. And those two guys are doing their flippy flips and fukaroos or whatever, and it looks awesome. The second match, just like, I did enjoy it, but like Gable and Ziggler, I think are very similar. And then Ciampa just with the different style of the striking. So it's like you have two guys that are very similar working with like it. So I think that's probably why it wasn't like at the same level, but I still thought it was good.
Do you really think that Ciampa has a real shot here at beating Lashley next week? No. Okay. I'm sure they'll be given a match, but I don't know. There's something weird. And like the Miz thing is interesting too. Cause like something I watched is they did another backstage promo where Ciampa cut another great promo, but the whole time the Miz is in the shot in the background, like hyping up. Yeah. But what I really paid attention to in the promo was the things that Ciampa was saying. He called himself the greatest sports entertainment of all time, which we know we've done that in the past, but if there's someone else who could call themselves that, it's the man standing behind him. And then he said that nobody can elevate a title like he can. Well, if there's another person who has elevated a mid-card title to levels that we've like never really matched, it's the Miz with the IC title, who was standing right behind him as he said that. So I don't think it's going to like end like next week, like this little relationship, but I definitely think it's exciting, like the seeds that are being planted here, because it is just such a similar type thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, obviously the Miz is going to probably come to ringside with him. If maybe not that the Miz costs him, but maybe the Miz makes a mistake and they kind of tease. So I think Lashley will come out on top. I think this is just Triple H really being like, Ciampa's a guy who deserves better. He is one of my handpicked guys, has been, and he deserves to be highlighted. The fans want it. So I'm putting him in the spot, but I don't think anyone's taking Lashley out anytime soon. No, I don't disagree at all. I mean, Ray's sitting here saying, Jordan, I took it personally meme with all the losers saying AEW is a pro wrestling show, his first weekend in charge. Look, it's a wrestling show. It's a pro wrestling show. It's a sports entertainment show. It's great.
They're the same thing.
It's the same fucking
thing. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
AEW has a lot of both too.
So. Yeah. I mean, you can't tell me that Orange Cassidy's a pro wrestler. You tell me he's a sports entertainer.
He's both. He's both.
Yeah,
he's an incredible pro wrestler, but he's an even better sports entertainer.
He is. So he would be he would be the number one top merch seller in WWE if he was in WWE.
He's I think he's pretty much the top. Consistently, he's the top merch seller in AEW. I think people pass him here and there, but since the inception, like I think he's been top 3 since the inception at one point. Like it just, I mean, I want to buy. He's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, we are kind of in this weird limbo here. I don't know how you feel about. I mean, you said you had no heat, so
I know. So they'd all be like quick shine. So you can talk about whatever you want. But like,
I mean,
obviously, nothing I outright hated this week.
Okay, so we'll go on SmackDown in order here. We had the Donnie Brooke, which again apparently is the brother of Dana Brooke, having a match up here with the bars and all the other stuff, setting the bar.
That was a good match.
It was a good match. I love a good fashion old ass kicking, and that's exactly what we got here. Anytime that it's like the Chicken and Peter Griffin. Anytime they're in the fucking room, they got to fight. Anytime you get old Sheamus and the McIntyre gets it on, you know I'm sitting and I'm enjoying it. So I love that shit. Obviously, Drew had to win. Love that Theory attacked him from behind. Given what I talked about a couple weeks ago, I still think is my best call for Theory to catch.
It hasn't even happened. It can't be your best call unless it happens.
No, I'm just saying I think it's the best chance for
trying
Drew.
to take credit before like 4 weeks before it happens.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You're gonna curse it so it doesn't. He isn't even in Cardiff.
Maybe
He's
not.
Gonna be in fucking
he can't make the flight. Yeah, he can't make the flight. Can't make the flight. Yeah, it is what it is. Of course, just a lot of it doesn't really matter because it's SmackDown the night before, SummerSlam, so we're not going to get anything. But a big comeback opportunity. Shotzi came back out of nowhere because Lacey Evans couldn't compete against your girl Aaliyah. I thought that was cool to see, Shotzi back on my television. I'm a big Shotzi guy, so that was a big plus for me. I'm like, okay, now we're talking. And of course, we have this random thing that happens, but the New Day and the Viking Raiders happened. But what I kind of enjoyed here, they took out his leg. They really hurt him. So it made the new vicious Viking Raiders more vicious, I guess. I just don't know where you go with the Viking Raiders afterwards, but at least they were taken seriously. So that's
they're probably going to fight the New Day for the next 3 months. So
I hope not. I'm done with it, to be honest with you. I need something else. I really do. So
don't hold your breath.
Here's hoping. On Raw, Becky has a separated shoulder. Apparently they're teasing that the man will be back after her shoulder heals up. Cool.
The other man is officially done, so it's time for this man to take her mantle.
Well, I think he sells a copyright, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, but they might be able to work something out.
I'm sure they will. Triple H loves Ric Flair. I'm sure they'll figure it out. It's a thing. I really love.
Here comes the money, not Shane McMahon.
No,
actual money that talks.
I will say this much. I really love the Bailey, the whole company kind of Bailey trio there, like getting a lot of time. They broke up one match. They broke up like beating up other people backstage. They got some promo times. Yeah. So, I mean, like they got some time. Then, of course, we had EO fucking going ape shit nuts against
EO and Belair. Super hot fire.
Why they, I mean, I'm glad it got broken up. I guess, obviously we're headed down a 6-woman tag, which I'll grin and bear that one. I'll say that much.
Hey, if you're going to have a 3-person faction, it's part of the territory.
I know.
At least these ones aren't randomly thrown together ones. They'll make sense.
I know this one totally. Here. And again, somebody on Twitter obviously talked to me about this. It was just, I know the situation has changed, so I get it, but I think it's bearing some type of repeating here. Bliss, like last week, said she was going to go for the championship, which I assumed was where we were headed, right?
Still might.
But then she's aligning herself with Belair, but I get it. It's because they attacked her.
Everyone wants the title, Nestlemania.
No, I know.
Every single promo in their promo, every single week, should be talking about how they want to be the champion. So I don't mind that. And it's one of those things, like, I'm sure when the matches, like, there's going to be getting side eyes from Bliss and Asuka, who are going to be, like, poking at the gold on Bianca's shoulder. So I wouldn't jump the gun as a negative yet, because I think it's groundwork, man. It's groundwork. And Bliss is a heel turn waiting to happen. I don't think it's going to happen very quickly, but it's just like, I mean, that's just part of like, because as we've talked about, her character is in this weird limbo where like nobody kind of knows what it is. So that just means like they're saving it for when they need it, and bam, it'll happen.
Yeah. It's a tough call because I feel like she's in this point where I want to see her.
Love Alexa Bliss,
but there's something about her, like, and again, this is where you're going to think I'm nuts, so it's fine. I understand this. As I watched last night, I said to myself, she doesn't like getting hit. You can tell anymore. She does. Listen, there are some people who like to get hit. You talk to Bobby Lashley. He gets fucking
Sheamus, and Lashley, yeah.
They get fucking.
They're big meaty men. They got a lot more meat to protect themselves.
No, I know, but some people get
skinny woman.
Some people have enough meat. But like every time I'm watching her, she's like,
maybe on the back she has enough meat, but
But she always does this thing where it takes me out of a match where I'm going, oh my God, she's fucking protecting herself again. Too much.
God forbid someone protects themselves.
I don't know. I feel like she doesn't want to be wrestling anymore. That's all I'm saying. It feels like she doesn't want to.
I feel like if she didn't, she wouldn't be, but she
doesn't need to. She's already got, Brian Cabrera, the stud of all studs.
Nestlemania.
People
like to be their own men or women. They don't want to just like marry someone rich and retire. I do, but not everyone's like that.
You are the
some people are driven.
You are the definition of a looking for a sugar mama, right?
I'd be a great trophy husband.
You would be a good trophy husband. I can see you walking around in your flip flops, doing nothing all day. I can see it. You do it already.
I wish. I wish I could do nothing all day.
Moving on to 2 more bits of pizzas we're going to talk about here. Pizzas. We're going to talk about some pizzas. Riddle and Seth Rollins, not really a thing, but still a thing, kind of. And then
it'll be a thing.
It'll be a thing at Cardiff, I'm sure. And then we had Montez Ford versus Seth Rollins, which again, Chef Kiss. Mwah. Here's the thing, folks. Still would love to see Montez Ford turn on, Dawkins and not the other way around. Personally, for me, I think
that one makes more sense too, honestly. And I agree with you.
I feel like the Dawkins thing is going to be like, like you can see the Dawkins thing coming, like him turning, like the way they built it last night where Tez just ran down with the fucking ref. I was like, okay. Yeah. So you could do it either way. I just feel like I just want to see Tez is going to be, he could be fine either way. But I'm curious how you feel about Dawkins, because like a babyface Dawkins for me, not as exciting as a heel, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a babyface Dawkins might work better than a heel Dawkins, just because like I don't know. I just feel like as a heel, he just kind of get lost in the shuffle of heels because there isn't anything that makes him overly heelish. But there's something about Dawkins when he wears like the football game, whatever. It's just like like people are always going to gravitate to that. He'll probably end up in another tag team when they do break up. But I would assume next week we're going to get Seth versus Dawkins, and then either the week after that or next week, Riddle will return to set up that match. But it makes sense the way they're doing it. They're using Riddle's buddies here to set up this Cardiff match. And then from there, who knows? Maybe this is the end of the Street Profits, or maybe they just kind of dilly-dally for a little longer,
I feel like they're going to turn the Triple H corner here where it's like, because obviously he's in charge now, but it's like,
is he?
It's like the week after we expect them to turn, then they'll turn. Like it's the Roderick Strong thing of like, I'm never going to be part of the Undisputed Ever. Then fucking like a month later, you're like, oh, he's turning. You're like,
how excited are you going to be when Diamond Mine comes up to the main roster now?
Oh my God.
The Triple H is in charge. You can bring up Roddy and be like, hey, Adam Cole, you sucker. Look at Roddy Strong, world champ.
I am going to vomit if Roderick Strong is world champion. I'm going to vomit all day long.
He can't. There's
no fucking way.
I praised him. I gave my comeback a few weeks ago, but like I think this is the best he can do, and it's been very good. But
yeah,
world title, ooh.
Intercontinental, US, sure. That's your ceiling. But I will say this much: I did giggle into my little belly that the fucking your favorites down in NXT, the tag team champions specifically said, we ain't no twos. And I was like, whoa.
My favorites.
Oh, yeah.
The Creeds?
Yeah. You love the Creeds. You thought they were good. Julius, anyway.
I think they're talented. Like, I get why they're going to be a big success in WWE, but if I'm less than my favorite tag teams, it's not them.
They're just to the right.
My favorite tag team in Diamond Mine is Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley.
I understand that.
There's the NXT tease for later in the show.
Anyway, the last thing on this program that I think we haven't talked about, I believe, at least maybe we should very quickly. Dominic got Dominic got his legs wrapped around him by Rhea Ripley. Let's not bury the lead. We all want to be Dom for 45 seconds. And then, of course, Dom got shoved into a spearing Edge, who for no reason fucking came out, of course. It's a thing. Do you think we're going into the aspect of Ray versus Edge a little bit? Or is it like, I'm sorry I did that. I'm seeing red.
That would be a good twist because like we were just talking about, like we wanted a heel Edge and we didn't get it. Like, wouldn't that be something if Edge is the new Big Show and he just changes heel or face for every feud? Like that would be a good twist. Cause who knows what, maybe I have a hope about Cardiff with this little 6-person thing going on here. So I'll save that. But wherever this goes at some point, like, these guys got to get away from Judgment Day, and maybe it is Edge versus Ray. That would be interesting because I'm sure Edge can pretty much dictate who he wants to work with. I'm sure Ray, especially considering he's in the twilight of his career here, probably be someone on his list. So that I could see that.
I think it could work, honestly, because, you know, it's a whole thing. And then like Dominic will have to choose as an Uncle Edge, you know, like the whole thing again with Eddie not being
Yeah,
around.
that's not the same.
No,
That's
it's
not
like
the
he's
same.
going to father him or anything, but like, you know.
Yeah, it's not the same.
But it's just like, I if you watch backstage before the match, Rey Mysterio said like, we have been tag team champions and there's a bond there. Then he shoves his, you know, obviously by accident, Rhea shoves him and he takes the spear, and Edge looked at him and then kept running. And it was like, I get it.
Collateral damage.
No, I know. But like, there's a part of me that thinks there's something there, right? Like there has to be. But I was reading an interview with you know, Finn Balor saying something along the lines of like, we have to wait for this arc to be over. And I was like, arc? Like, does that mean that the Judgment Day is just going to be flushed down the toilet pretty quickly? Or is there an entire different thing coming to happen? I don't know. I have no idea.
Or do they accept Edge back once he takes care of the Mysterios? Is this like a double, triple turn?
Oh my. The swirly. Not even a swerve, a swirly. Yeah. Backwards. Forwards, and then backwards again. Get out of town. Get out of town.
You know me? You never did.
Do you know what side I'm on? Neither do I.
Nope. You know? Well, it's the Edge show. It's the big bad Edge tonight.
I cannot wait for him to turn back. That'd be I would have to. I'd probably pee myself. I would laugh so hard.
We might have cracked the code.
I think it's. But here's the thing. I think it's gonna happen. I think something's gonna happen there. It has to, right? It fucking has to. I have a hope for it. But we can talk about other things. Do you have any heats? Or you want to go, get him up by TV? Get him up by TV? Look, we're done. We're going into the hope.
You don't even have heat.
No heat in Nestlemania.
Glorious. You're my only hope. There we go. Here's my hope, Nestlemania. Short and sweet, and then you can play off it. At Cardiff, they're going to do a show. They're probably going to be a 6-person tag. I want the Judgment Day. Yes, that's right. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Rhea Ripley versus the Mysterios and Edge. Because you know what? They might not do the one-on-one of Rhea versus Dom. But hell, they could easily do a 6-person tag. I think Rhea could beat the fuck out of all 3 of them. And I would love to see Rhea go toe-to-toe with all of them. I think that would be fun. You know, the UK crowd would love this. This would be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. 6-person tag, including Rhea Ripley. Judgment Day versus the Edgy Mysterios.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go.
I was surprised about that, dagnammit. That's good.
Yeah.
Look, so I'm going to go with my hope, obviously with the Judgment Day here, going at something out a little bit different. As I was watching, I'm like, okay, here's what I want to happen, but really here's what I think is going to end up happening. And it's really going to transport itself into something different. I, for some reason, want the Fiend to come back, right? I think the Fiend somehow coming back and aligning himself with the Judgment Day would be phenomenal, making them all kind of weird characters in the process, because I think that'd be kind of cool. And then, of course, I think Edge being against the Judgment Day then can go up against the Fiend. I just want to see Edge versus the Fiend because I feel like promo would lead to an excellent storytelling purpose. And then Edge not having
very long promos.
I know, but here's the thing. If you're chewing up scenery, what better place than the Firefly Funhouse? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I think it would be fucking awesome. And I think that here's the thing, right? Not that you guys ever want to see it again. I personally do. I want to see a Firefly Funhouse match with Edge because I think there's enough meat on the bone there for Bray to absolutely destroy Edge. Like, he can make a joke about, you know how he did with Cena? He goes, you can look, but you can't touch. They can reenact the live sex thing. Like, they can do so many things. It'd be hysterical, especially with TV 14. I think the Fiend making the Judgment Day part of his, like, a group of like supernatural people going up against Edge and being what Edge didn't want to be would be hilarious. But then getting that Firefly Funhouse match with Edge versus the Fiend, just so much stuff. Calling him Sexton Hardcastle. There's so many things that you can do. Like, just making fun of Edge. That would be awesome. Just fucking awesome. And I think the Fiend should come back. As we can talk about this all day about what we think Triple H is who he's going to bring back, what he's going to do differently. But the Fiend, to me, on top of that list, has to be on top of that list because not only was he the #1 merch mover for a very long time, but he's so much different. He's the entertainment in the sports entertainment, honestly. And we can do a lot with it. And I think he deserves to come back. And I think Edge probably wanted to wrestle him or at least interact with him. Because I think Edge has that like adjacent brood or that like deep dark down I can get into. That'll be cool. I'm excited for it. So that's my hope. Fiend, Edge, Judgment Day, all together. I'm excited. I hope it comes to fruition one day.
I am pro the Fiend coming back, and I think the fact that he hasn't popped up anywhere else, I think is a good sign. I think honestly Vince is going to bring him back anyway, so
Sure.
I still think this is happening. I am pro Fiend versus Edge. I am not pro Judgment Wyatt Day or whatever the hell you want to call it, because that I don't know. Him and Finn, like those two should be enemies forever, because especially now that Triple H is in charge, the Demon Kind will be returning at some point, which I think will be great. Because Finn actually had a very extensive interview where he went into details about that, wanting more control over that character, and also how bad it made him feel that they had 2 nights of WrestleMania and he wasn't booked despite working every date and everything, which I agree with. At the time we talked about it, sucked. He was a champion at the time. But so I do I don't know. I think the Judgment Day is kind of the thing. I don't know. When Bray comes back, I don't really think he needs a group. I didn't mind the sidekick with like Alexa. Like, who knows? Maybe they just run that back, because as we talked about, she's been in limbo. But I don't know. I don't think the Fiend needs the Judgment Day to do what he needs to do, especially against Edge, because then it's just like those guys still not getting away from Edge. Well, the Fiend and Edge have like a 6-month. You know what I mean? So
no, that's fair.
I agree with all the rest of your hope. That detail I would change.
Okay, that's fine. I think the Judgment Day is floundering personally. I think they need. Here's the thing: they say they don't need a leader. They need something. If they don't need a leader, they need something else.
Rhea getting hurt really hurt the momentum of that group, because she was such the important part of it, especially with the feud with Bianca. And they kind of had to change it. And I thought the wrestling has been a lot of fun, but I think, yeah, like Clark Street Wrestling Podcast just said, the Judgment Day does need some goddamn wins. Like, you can take the Vince out of the Finn, but apparently you can't put the win back in Finn. The poor guy, all he does is lose. Like, it just, and then Priest, all the guy did was win until he teamed up with Finn. So
he got you want to talk about the reverse Bad Bunny curse, right? Like Bad Bunny, and then after that, it was like, yeah, you know, what happened, right? Like he became the United States
champion. They made him a cooler character,
yeah,
and then he became a worse.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know. It sucks.
They do. I agree. The Judgment Day need wins, and I think part of that is like they need to get away from this feud. But that's why I think you just finish it off in Cardiff. Maybe they get the win. Maybe Rhea pins Dominic, and then Daddy's disappointed in his son because he just got cucked. So,
speaking of cuck, go over to tpublic.com/jobberknocker to buy our brand new merchandise. Actually, we have the Nestle curse. I'll put it in the old chat there. But the more important one was from the brainchild of our very own, you can't
see me holding the titles.
No, but it's JC. He has called the certain champion a tribal cuck. You can now get your tribal cuck merchandise over at tpublic.com/jobberknocker. I'm sure it's /cuck or something. I haven't really looked. But
/cuck.
tpublic/cuck. Yeah, there you go. There's one, and I'll get the other next. But again, folks, these are great merchandise. Go over to, be part of the Knocker team. Be, having a good time.
Are that sale still going on, or did it end?
There is a sale going on for certain ones, especially brand new ones. You can buy these for $14 as I'm looking right now. The sale is only going on for a little while longer. TJ does a fantastic job. TJ of the JK. Go follow him. He is the merch king, I guess, over for the Knocker, doing a lot of the designs. I did do the last two because they were, visioned in a certain way. But yes, I'm excited. Go over to, those places and buy our merchandise, goddammit, because we deserve it.
Yeah, you know who else deserves it? Don't call it a comeback. She had been here for years, and then she was gone. Now she's back. Dakota Kai is getting my comeback. We didn't really hit on her too much earlier because she was mostly background, but I think this is a really cool one, because this is someone who we've really grown to love the last few years she's been employed down at NXT, and we saw her story with Tegan and how she became this new character. She obviously had the relationship with Raquel, and obviously Raquel has moved on to bigger and better things. So Dakota was just kind of left down there, and Dakota's always been great. She's well liked. She's entertaining. People love her Twitch stream. She's been a fan favorite, and she just was like gone. Of all those NXT surprise releases, like that one probably hurt me the most. And that clearly hurt Hunter the most, because that motherfucker wasted no time in getting her back where she was supposed to be. Dakota Kai was working dark matches on the main roster over a year ago. They were preparing to bring her up. This was someone who was ready, and it just, for whatever reason, it never happened. It was probably the man in charge. Maybe just wasn't a believer. So I'm really happy. This is like the true essence of what the comeback is. Someone who literally this, she was done. She was gone. We might probably never going to see her in WWE again until these things change. And the best part of it was this was a surprise return. Like, there were no leaks about this one. There was no, this person's backstage or this person's in Nashville. There was nothing. She had just trademarked a new name for an independent stuff and everything. So there was no breadcrumbs here to think this was going to happen unless it was just a pure shot in the dark. So I thought this was cool. I'm happy for her. I think she's immensely talented. I think this group is going to be a lot of fun, and she's going to get a lot of opportunities under Triple H. So Dakota Kai, you get my comeback.
Nice. Fantastic. I would continue talking, but I think my comeback has to stop for a second because I need more water. That's right, folks. My comeback goes to one Max Dupree. Because guess what? The whole thing I have electrical equipment. I'd get electrocuted. I'm sure some people would like that. But
there's still some in here, by the way. I'm a little wet now.
Well, you can do that. I can see it on your beard. But here's the thing, folks. I'm giving it to Max Dupree, the whole Maximum Male Models. Max is back. Hashtag Max is back. I'm excited for everybody here that thought it was a dead issue, that LA Knight was coming back or he was getting canned. Get the fuck out of here. Honest to God, folks, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I am jacked. The four of them look like $1 million. Them doing the pure water spot was great. Watching them do the whole thing on Friday was so great. Bonsoir. They did so amazingly wonderful. Max was perfect. He slid in at the end where you were like, holy shit, he's back. And then, of course, she had like 1 or 2 lines, which works perfectly for her. This is great. He'll do the heavy lifting. She'll come in and be the eye candy and say the one line that I'll remember. And the other two will be sitting there groping themselves with inanimate objects. It'll be fan-freaking-tastic. I am, what is the line? I can't do it right. Titillized?
To titillate your something.
Titilize your guilty pleasures.
Titillate.
Titillate. Is that titilize or titillate?
I think it's titillate.
Titilize or titillate?
Titillate.
To the left? To the right? To the left?
Titillate, titillate. Everything you own's in the titillate to the left.
Titillate to the left. I don't know.
Titillate to the left. Titillate. Titillate.
Anyway, I'm excited. I was super pumped and jacked. But anyway, we got to get over the big old.
Oh, no, not so fast. Because Nestlemania.
Yes.
Speaking of the Maximum Male Models, I believe someone needs to apply to get rejected by the Dupree family because they lost a bet.
Okay.
You lost. You have to apply to be a Maximum Male Model and get that fat red rejection sticker on your forehead.
Do they actually reject people with their sticker?
I don't know. They probably should. I kind of want to do that. I'm going to buy a rejection stamp just to stamp on your forehead during the podcast.
Well, that's nice. Yes, I have lost a bet. For those that don't know or don't listen right now, in the predictions, our boy Ray, who was a guest host 2 weeks ago, challenged me to apply for male modelship for the Maximum Male Models. I have, in fact, told my wife she needs to take a picture of me. So that poor woman is going to have to take a picture of me head to toe with clothing on, obviously, because this is, not for anybody else, but everybody. Whatever. It's fine. But what?
You just pretzeled yourself. None of that made any sense. But
you know what it is? It's just that I'm looking at it thinking to myself, I don't know what pose to go with, JC. What pose should I do? I'm going to wear sunglasses and then do the whole thing like this with the sunglasses. But I don't know if I should be putting water on me. If you could direct me in my photo shoot, what would you do?
Oh,
I know you'd have
I mean,
a vomit bucket, but
that's a lot to work with. We'd probably need a lot of makeup.
Okay. Well, I don't have any makeup.
A lot of makeup, a lot to cover up there. But yeah, no, I think you like orange, so I think we definitely have to go to an orange theme because that would have to probably accentuate like you. Maybe I should loan you my romper.
You know what? I would wear the romper if you want. Yeah, what is it, like sausage or something? What is it?
Yeah, it's like grapefruits. It's Leinenkugel sponsored.
Okay.
I'm sponsored by Leinenkugel.
I probably, no offense, I'm like probably a child's medium. I don't know if it'll fit me, but
it might be a little loose, but it would fit.
I feel like tight fitting clothes is probably better. Somebody dared me to go shirtless. Don't feel comfortable with shirtless for sure.
Yeah,
I've got a bird chest.
If you do, can you tape your nips so you don't have to see them?
Oh no, I'd be wearing a suit jacket. I'm totally going suit jacket. It's going to either be, I can either stick with the baby blue. I can go with maroon. I can go with navy or black. I feel like I'm going to go with the baby blue and sunglasses. And then the rest, is up to imagination and posing. But
you definitely need to add some like fruitlicious colors to the scheme, because if you're trying to be a male model, especially it is the summer collection, you're gonna need to spruce up your.
I don't have money, so yeah, I'm at the.
No, but I'm sure you got some bright clothes in your closet. Do you have like an orange, like bright tank top and maybe like a flower on it or something? Like you put that underneath. Like I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure you can find some things to spruce it up.
Spruce.
Well, spruce.
Maybe what I should do is a polo that's very loud, and then do the over the shoulder you know, with the, like, not having the jacket on and doing the, you know, oh gosh, I'm in a catalog, you know,
could try that. Yeah.
do that one with the glasses like this.
Also, I think you need to do something ridiculous with your hair, like spike up half of it or something, and just kind of like, you know, something. You gotta do something modelly with that. And like a lot of models, like their hairstyles are pretty hideous, but they work because they go like model.
Okay. I'm liking all of these things, and like I said, when I get a chance to, I absolutely will do it as quickly as possible. So you're on. I will take this W in other people's worlds and make it a W for myself. I'll make it a win for me. All right.
Now, I don't know about that, but I think we'll all be winning when we see the photo, and we're going to go to the big old finish. I don't have anything for Smackdown yet this week, so nothing yet there, but on Raw, we will have the Lashley Champion US title match, but Nestlemania, we have a loaded night of NXT tonight on Tuesday, and a loaded Wednesday of AEW tomorrow, but we will start in NXT, and Nestlemania, the main roster tag titles.
Tag tittles.
The women's tag titles are on the line in a fatal four-way where we will crown new women's tag team champions in NXT. Katana and Kaden versus Toxic Attraction versus Niall and Paxley versus Leon and Feroz. Nestlemania. I think it's Katana and Kaden's time. Who you got?
You would be very excited for Ively and Paxley.
I would be excited for any of these teams. All four of these teams are super hot fire, in my opinion.
I feel like it's just like ipso facto default Toxic Attraction. No, I don't.
I think Katana and Kaden, I think could be their time. They're the little engines that could. They've been around a long time. Why not?
Speaking of choo-choo, what a segue, right?
Oh, God.
What a segue.
I was going to do this last, but
fine. No,
we'll do it now. You did the transition. Solo Sikoa versus the Von Wagon, who had probably his best promo ever last week when he's like, oh, yeah, no, she's fine. Sophia wanted to go be a model. I have no issues with that. I thought that was hilarious.
He swore.
He did.
They called him potty mouth.
It was the most I've ever liked Von Wagner, and it was amazing. But Falls Count Anywhere match, the Von Wagon taking on Solo Sikoa. To me, this is a Solo Sikoa showcase. So
no. This is a wagon-centric win. I'm telling you right now, he is going to beat Solo, and Solo is going to the main roster. This is Solo goodbye. This is it.
He might be doing that, but I still think he's
going to win. They always put somebody over. They always put somebody over.
The best part of this match will be whatever Solo does to Mr. Stone. So, you know, at least we can agree on that part, right?
Here's the thing. I will come on this podcast next week and disown Von Wagner if he doesn't say dumbass during this match. Like, he has to say dumbass at least once in this fucking matchup, because the way he says dumbass is the only thing he's got going for him.
This is the crux of why he's Nestle's favorite wrestler.
I know, but here's the thing. Like, if he says dumbass, I'm in. If he doesn't say dumbass, I'm not in. Not in.
Lord. Well, we have another feud, another person who could be headed to the main roster soon, and that is Super Hot Alba Fire taking on Lash Legend. I think Fire is going to win, and I do think that she might be joining that Bayley stable soon because she was originally pitched in it, which made a lot of sense because I think the only bigger Alba Fire fan than me might be Bayley. So
I don't care for Lash Legend, so
I know you don't.
I think that she needs a lot of work.
She does, and NXT will do her some good if she stays.
She needs to stay on Level Up. That's what I like. She needs more time on that.
It's fair. Her character might be there, but wrestling is definitely not. But Nestlemania, the measuring stick of NXT, the best champion on the planet, Mandy Rose goes one-on-one with a returning Saray.
Mandy Rose with the victory and the block. I'm done. I don't care about Zoe Stark. I don't care about Saray. I want Mandy to have it forever. Just let Mandy have it.
I agree. Mandy should have the title forever, but I think Saray might actually win this match because I'm sure Zoe Snore Stark will interfere a little bit. But I don't know. I love Saray, so I think it'd be cool to get her win. Her and Mandy kind of have some history. Wait,
is this a title match though or not?
No, it's not. It's not. That's why I think Saray's going to win, because Saray kind of seems like the person that's kind of had one over on Mandy since she's been champion. Like, kind of lurking. I think she might have beaten her before too. So I wouldn't hate if she did it again, because I think that's how you build groundwork for things. So I like that. But Nestlemania, the last thing on NXT, we have a summit between Braun Breaker and my guy, JD Mcdonough.
You know what's funny? Every time I see JD Mcdonough, I think he looks like Drake Maverick to me.
He kind of looks like Jordan Devlin too.
Yeah, kind of. But he has the Rockstar Spud haircut and the short arms and stuff. And I'm like trying to take him seriously. He does a fantastic job of the promo, being like, "There's 48 tendons in your finger."
What did you think about his promo where he's walking around talking?
Yeah,
to I thought that was cool and different.
It was different, and again, that's a lot of stuff to remember about certain things about, like,
dude, this kid's good.
but he's good.
If he was like 6 inches taller, he'd be the #1 wrestler in the company.
Yes, but I think he's
still going to be really good.
He has a plausible finish with the pull suplex thing. I love that. Sky's the limit. Unfortunately, Braun Breaker's like Braun Strowman with 2 feet going in the right direction. So, you know, it is what it is. But what?
You just keep talking.
But no, listen, I'm a Braun Breaker is like, you can sit and you can salivate all you want on it, but like, you can sit there and be like, backstage, you're just like, this guy's John Cena. Like to the rest of the company, they must.
Yeah, he's a WrestleMania main eventer in the making.
He's the fucking guy on the side of the truck. He's the guy in the fucking cups. Like it's just you can't deny that this is it.
This was the type of feud we've been waiting for, I think, with him for a while now. Is like, this is a guy that we can buy into, a guy who can carry his own, a guy we're interested in, and a guy that can kind of hang with him in the promo. So I think this is a good fit feud. But yeah, I mean, once we get through this, you're telling me I could get a Mello JD match? Whoo!
I mean, Mello seems to be just sitting at a barbershop waiting for the next contender. So you know, it is what it is. So
JD doesn't need a haircut, but it might get a little odd. He might need one soon. So maybe
he can tell the barbers, you know, the reasons they're using the wrong numbers on the barber. This guy has like useless facts left and right. I don't know. Next thing he's going to tell me is everybody's using too much TP. I don't know. He seems like useless.
Definitely probably are, but some people like to be thorough. Can't blame him for that.
2-ply, 3-ply is luxurious, but who has 3-ply? Who has time for 3-ply?
That is true. Nestlemania, should we go to AEW Dynamite?
Let's do it.
Will Hobbs in action. That's all it said. Undisputed Elite return. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have Christian Cage, Super Hot Fire Stud versus Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy, which was why? That's what your face just said.
I mean, we know why, the story, but like the match, like hopefully Christian squashes him. Then we have Thunderstorm versus Baker and Hayter.
Why do we have a tag division? Are we getting tag women? Like, are we getting women's tag titles? That's what I want to know.
But Thunder Rose is a paper champion anyways. We have Orange Cassidy versus Jay. I worked every day this week. Lethal. Orange Cassidy might make this might be my favorite Jay Lethal match ever, just because Orange Cassidy is going to make it fun. And he's probably going to have a spot with like the goofy manager and the big fucking 50-foot guy. So they'll probably be the most interesting this stable will ever be.
I just don't want them on my television.
I agree, but if they're on with Orange Cassidy, I'll allow it. We have the Acclaimed versus the Gun Club in a dumpster match, and the thing I am looking most forward to this week on Dynamite.
I can't believe that the Ass Boys are going to be in a dumpster. Like, that's my favorite part, is that they're going to be in a dumpster.
Ass Boys. You're telling me that AEW doesn't have sports entertainment. This right here is I am so sports entertained. Then we have a #1 contender match between Jericho and Yuta.
Snore fest for me, but everybody else will get boned.
Does anyone want Jericho versus Moxley for the title? No. Does anyone need Yuta to get pushed into a title match against Moxley? No. But the rankings, you know, they're definitely 1-2 in the rankings, right?
Who the fuck's on the rankings right now? Do we even know? Do we even care?
All I know is FTR is still the #1 tag team for like the 8th straight month, and guess who doesn't get title shots?
He has a freaking torn labrum too. Like, I mean, he's not gonna wrestle, right? He can't wrestle. Come on. That's ridiculous.
AEW needs MJF back to save the top of their card. They really do.
Well, it's not happening until Punk comes back.
Without him, I mean, Omega would probably help a little. Healthy Adam Cole would help. A healthy D. Bry now. All those guys would probably help. But man, without MJF, like it is just, especially in the heel department, lacking at the top of the card.
Very quickly, D. Bryan loses in a concussion-y kind of matchup against Daniel Garcia. Biggest win of Garcia's career.
Yeah, that was huge for him. I thought that was very cool for Garcia. I love that. I did love that.
Did you feel like they were kind of like playing with your heart a little bit there? Like
probably. It would make sense, but at the same time, I also, if Brian is hurt, I hope he's okay. But yeah, I could definitely. AEW's done it before with the fake injury work bullshit, so they definitely do it again. These are the guys who bleed because they look at someone, they're like, he made me bleed with his eye lasers. So, because I'm a wizard.
It's true.
Doesn't have sports entertainment, my ass.
On that note, I think that's everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of verbalized everything we could here. Very good week for wrestling. No heat. That's a big deal for the Knocker.
No
I
heat.
think.
Except for Jeff Jarrett. Except for Jeff Jarrett.
Well, we're not gonna talk about that because no heat.
Hopefully, Ric Flair's last match was his last match. You want to talk about that quickly before we leave?
You know, it was 20 minutes of uncomfortableness that I felt very uncomfortable. You know, I'm glad it's over. I'm glad everybody made some money, and you know, even Charlotte pulled Karen Angle around for a little bit. That was cool. But yeah, it was uncomfortable. I mean, that's really all I have to say is that it's Andrade did a really good job with Jay Lethal, and then
biggest match of his career.
Jeff Jarrett did a great job doing Jeff Jarrett things. So, you know, Is what it is, folks. Is what it is. But yeah, I please no more last matches tour or part 2 or whatever. Like we're done.
Unless maybe Jake Paul and Ric Flair can fill in for Jake Paul's opponent in the boxing match that another guy dropped out. So I think that's this weekend.
Oh boy. Well, it is what
Ric
it is.
Flair can get knocked out in 1 round.
Then he blade because
it's true.
He
might not need to blade if he gets punched in the face by Jake Paul. So
it is what it is. But again, it is what it is. The rest of the card looks stacked, and of course, it was a lot of fun for a lot of people. So again,
Ray was there.
Yeah, why he was there? He said he had a good time. So
if I was in Nashville and I had nothing to do on a Sunday night, those tickets are probably very affordable. Hell, I'd go have a few.
The Undertaker and Mick Foley and Bret Hart were there, so
those 3 have nothing better to do anyways because they're so rich they don't need to do anything. So yeah, of course they're gonna go.
I gotta cackle.
Plus it's free pub for those 3 guys. Those 3 guys love attention.
I gotta cackle out of like big hug from the Undertaker, an acknowledgement from Mick Foley. Then he went over to go hug Bret Hart, and Bret was like, "Great match." Like that said everything you wanted to see down the line. It was it was great. So again, good for everybody. I'm glad everybody's safe. The end. Let's move on. On that note, I think I'm exhausted. Are you exhausted?
Yeah, we're done. You can titillate your senses with us next week on the Jobber Knocker.